Getting Lisa a pony. In Lisa's Pony, Homer accidentally causes Lisa to humiliate herself at a school talent show, which makes him realize how often he's ignored her and failed to be supportive over the years. Feeling deeply guilty, Homer decides to finally give Lisa the one thing she's always dreamed of owning, a pony. However, the gift comes with a heavy price. The pony's upkeep is expensive, forcing Homer to take a second job working late nights at the Quickie Mart. The extra workload quickly drains him, leaving Homer exhausted, miserable, and barely able to stay awake. Watching her father slowly wear himself out, Lisa begins to understand how much he's sacrificing for her happiness. In the end, she realizes that she loves her dad far more than the pony and makes the painful but heartfelt decision to give up her new pet for Homer's sake.
The Soapbox Derby. Bart is arguably the Simpson child Homer connects with the least, which is pretty clear from the fact that they often call each other by their first names instead of dad and son. Still, they do share meaningful moments. In Saturdays of Thunder, Homer realizes he knows almost nothing about Bart and decides to bond with him by helping prepare for a soapbox derby race. Sadly, the car Homer builds turns out to be a total failure, forcing Bart to race using Martin's car after Martin gets injured. This creates some tension at first, but in the end, Homer supports Bart no matter what. The episode closes on a warm note, with father and son sharing a trophy and laughing together at Nelson. Believing in Lisa. In Lisa the Iconoclast, Lisa uncovers the shocking truth about Springfield's beloved founder, Jebediah Springfield, learning that he was actually a violent pirate. When she tries to reveal the truth, the entire town turns against her and refuses to listen. Surprisingly, the only person who believes her is Homer. For once, he openly admits that Lisa's usually right about things like this, and even says he wants to be on the right side for a change. What makes this even more meaningful is that even Marge refuses to hear Lisa out. Despite that, Homer fully supports his daughter and is willing to risk losing his job as the town crier during the Founders' Day parade just to stand by her. Dealing with Marge's gambling problem. In Springfield, Marge quickly falls under the spell of Springfield's new casino and develops a serious gambling addiction. As a result, she becomes a neglectful parent, breaking her promise to help Lisa with a school project and nearly letting Maggie get killed after wandering into a tiger enclosure. At first, Homer completely misses the problem, mistakenly thinking Marge is actually protesting the casino. Once the truth sinks in, though, he steps up in a big way. Homer is willing to risk his new job as a blackjack dealer just to confront Marge about her addiction, showing that his kids' safety and happiness matter more to him than keeping Marge comfortable or protecting his own job. The episode also highlights how Homer, despite his flaws, can be surprisingly effective when it comes to protecting his family from real dangers. Sacrificing his blimp ride. In Lisa the Beauty Queen, Homer wins a raffle at the school carnival that earns him a ride in the Duff Blimp. At the same event, Lisa has a much worse experience when a caricature artist draws a cruel, unflattering picture of her, leaving her embarrassed and hurt. Wanting to rebuild her confidence, Homer learns about an upcoming beauty pageant and believes entering it could help Lisa feel better about herself. To pay the entry fee, Homer makes a big sacrifice by selling his most treasured possession. Lisa surprisingly ends up winning due to a technicality, but another technicality later costs her the crown when Homer mistakenly signs where he was told not to. Even so, Lisa reassures Homer that he succeeded where it really mattered, helping her feel confident again. Helping Lisa's singing career. In A Star is Torn, Homer steps in as Lisa's manager when she joins a kid-focused singing idol competition. At first, he's a bit overprotective, aggressively demanding fair treatment for his daughter, and even getting into a fight with the technician, which leads to him being fired. As a result, Homer ends up working behind the scenes for another contestant. However, it quickly becomes clear that being tough was necessary, since the crew constantly ignored Lisa and didn't take her seriously. Later, it's revealed that Homer's role in helping the other kid was part of a plan to make him look bad so Lisa could win. While his methods aren't exactly ethical, it highlights just how far Homer is willing to go to support and protect his kids, even when it means being misunderstood or pushed aside. Letting Maggie keep Bobo. In Rosebud, Mr. Burns becomes obsessed with finding his childhood teddy bear, Bobo, and slowly loses
loses his mind over it. Soon, Homer discovers that the bear somehow ended up as one of Maggie's favorite toys. At first, Homer plans to trade it back to his boss in exchange for $1 million and a few islands, seeing it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, when Maggie clearly refuses to give up the bear, Homer chooses to respect her feelings and defends her decision. Even after Mr. Burns retaliates by humiliating Homer at work and turning the entire town against the Simpson family, Homer refuses to force Maggie to give up her toy. In the end, Maggie voluntarily returns the bear to Mr. Burns. The family loses their shot at wealth, but the episode closes on a strangely satisfying note.
Saving Christmas. Homer has helped save Christmas for his family plenty of times, but one of the most memorable examples is Grift of the Magi. In this episode, he gets involved after Bart and Lisa uncover a scheme by an evil toy corporation that's trying to monopolize the toy market and wipe out smaller competitors. Together, the three manage to gather all the corrupt toys in Springfield by Christmas Eve and plan to destroy them at the town's infamous tire fire. Before they can do it, they're stopped by Gary Coleman, which surprisingly leads to a calm and thoughtful discussion about the morality of turning Christmas into a commercial cash grab. Once things are settled, everyone ends the night sharing a Christmas dinner, including Mr. Burns and Mo, who've been on their own strange holiday journeys.
Listen, I kinda banged up that Jeep in the driveway. What you talking about, Mo?
Sacrificing his job for his family. In You Only Move Twice, Homer is offered a high-paying dream job by the charming Hank Scorpio, prompting the family to move to the planned town of Cypress Creek. While Homer thrives in his new role and loves every minute of it, the rest of the family struggles. Lisa develops severe allergies, Bart becomes the class outcast at school, and Marge grows increasingly bored and even starts drinking due to the town's dull routine. Realizing how unhappy everyone is, Homer makes the tough choice to give up his perfect job and comfortable life. Instead of forcing his family to adapt, he sacrifices his own happiness and moves them back to Springfield, proving that his family always comes first. Sacrificing his happiness for Maggie. In Maggie Makes 3, Bart and Lisa realize that the house doesn't seem to have any baby photos of Maggie, which leads into a flashback explaining why. Before Maggie was born, Homer had finally paid off his debts, quit the power plant, and landed a job at a bowling alley. Even though the pay was lower, he genuinely loved the work and felt happier than he had in years. That all changes when Marge becomes pregnant with Maggie, forcing Homer to swallow his pride and beg for his old job back at the plant. Mr. Burns rehires him under humiliating conditions, including a plaque that reads, "Don't forget, you're here forever." In the present, Homer reveals that he covers the sign with photos of Maggie, turning the message into "Do it for her," showing exactly why he made the sacrifice.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.